What's up, YouTube? It's Matt with the Matt Out Here YouTube channel. And today I'm out here in the pecan orchard, and I've strategically placed game cameras, and I was able to capture some really neat footage of the blackbuck antelope, how they interact, how they eat, and even caught a little bit of fighting on camera. The footage is really neat because if you're out here and you're in person, these deer run away quick. They're incredibly skittish. So to be able to capture this footage on camera and to get it as close up as it is, really is something special. So come along with me, let's enjoy this footage together, and let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Alright y'all, welcome back. I'm out here in my grandfather's pecan orchard, and over the past few weeks I've been running game cameras to capture what really goes on out here. And today I'm taking you on a deep dive into the lives of the blackbuck antelope that call this place home. We'll cover what they are, where they came from, and what makes them unique, and all the fascinating things that I've learned from watching them. From their horns and coats, to their herds, to how they raise their young. By the end, you'll know more about blackbucks than most folks ever will. So let's get started. So what is a blackbuck and how did they get to Texas? The blackbuck is a true antelope and not a deer. They're native to India, Pakistan, and Nepal, where they roam open plains and scrubby grasslands. They were first brought to Texas in 1932, right here in the hill country in Kerr County. Texas turned out to be a perfect home, with lots of wide open spaces, plenty of grazing, and a climate similar to where they came from. Over time, they spread across ranches and pastures, and today there are tens of thousands in the state, making Texas the largest blackbuck population outside of India. So let's talk a little bit about their appearance and their coat color. Blackbucks are some of the most striking animals you'll see here in Texas. The males weigh around 80 pounds and females a little less. The males are easy to spot because of their long spiraled horns and their bold black and white coats. Females and young males stay a tan color that blends in well with the grass, and as a male matures, his coat darkens. First a little and then a lot, until he's almost jet black on top. His belly, legs, and face patches stay bright white, so he looks like he's wearing a tuxedo. And this color change is tied to both age and hormones. After they shed in spring, they lighten up again. But as breeding season approaches, the dark color comes back. So what's the story with the blackbuck's horns? One of the coolest things about blackbuck is their horns. Unlike deer, which shed their antlers every year, blackbuck horns are permanent and grow throughout their life. They're made of a bony core covered with keratin, the same material as our fingernails, and they grow in long, graceful spirals that can make 3 or even 4 full turns in older bucks. The number of turns and the horn length are often used to guess a buck's age, and they're a sign of dominance. Bigger, thicker, and more twisted horns usually mean an older, more experienced buck. So now let's talk about the life cycle and some of the fawns. Blackbuck grow up fast. Females can have their first fawn around 2 years old and after a 5 to 6 month pregnancy. Most births are singles, and the fawns are on their feet within minutes. For the first few weeks, they spend a lot of time hidden in cover while mom grazes nearby, but soon they're strong enough to keep up with the herd. Young males start off looking just like the females, tan-colored with short little horn nubs. Over the next couple of years, their horns grow longer and their coat darkens. By 3 years old, most males are mature, holding territories and looking like the classic blackbuck you're picturing in your head here and seeing on the video. So let's talk about herd behavior and social life. Blackbuck are herd animals. The does and fawns stick together while males live in bachelor groups until they're old enough to fight for territory. When a male claims a piece of ground, he works hard to defend it, chasing rivals, posturing, and sometimes locking horns. During the rut, which usually peaks in spring and again in fall here in Texas, males tend to get more aggressive, and they mark their territory with scent glands, paw the ground, and try to gather as many females into the area as they can. You can see them chasing intruders, running back and forth to keep their boundaries, and even fighting other bucks in short, dramatic clashes. So blackbuck talk to each other in ways we don't always notice. Territorial males mark their spots with scent and dung piles so other bucks know who's in charge. And they use body language, tail flicks, stiff postures, and those impressive leaps to warn others and also to show off. Their eyesight is excellent, which is their main defense against predators. They can spot movement from a long way off and react quickly, which is why they often seem skittish. So blackbuck are grazers, and they feed mostly on grasses, but when grass is scarce, they'll browse on leaves, weeds, and forbs. In an orchard like this, they'll graze between the rows and use the shade during hot parts of the day. Early in the morning, I've seen them licking dew from pecan leaves, a clever way to get water when there isn't a pond or a trough nearby. They'll drink when they can, but they're built to survive on the moisture in their food if they need to. And oftentimes they'll draw water out of the leaves, the dried leaves of the pecan trees when the harvest is over. If danger shows up, the blackbucks don't hide, they run, and they're incredibly fast. Blackbuck can hit speeds of close to 50 miles per hour and can keep running in zigzags to throw off predators. That speed combined with their excellent eyesight is what keeps most of them alive. In their native India, they were once hunted with trained cheetahs because they're one of the few animals fast enough to make it a challenge. In Texas, coyotes are the main predators, especially for the young fawns. Back in India, they also have to worry about wolves and leopards, but speed is their best weapon. I've seen how alert they are when feeding, heads up, scanning, ready to bolt at the first sight of trouble, and when one runs, the whole herd usually takes off together. Blackbuck do compete with cattle and deer for grass, but they also help keep pastures clipped and open. In some areas, they're considered an asset, bringing in hunting revenue, controlling vegetation, and adding diversity to the ecosystem. In orchards, they eat the fallen pecans and nibble on low branches, but most of the time they just graze around peacefully, moving like a little wild herd among the trees. Back in India, blackbuck are considered sacred animals, and in some regions, they're even associated with Hindu gods. They were once a favorite quarry for royal hunts, and trained cheetahs were used to chase them down. Today, they're protected in India, and their numbers are slowly recovering. It's interesting that here in Texas, they have a thriving population, giving the species a kind of second home halfway around the world. Blackbuck can live 12 to 15 years if they avoid predators and accidents. In Texas, they're thriving, with an estimated 20,000 or more across the state. And that makes this one of the best places in the world to see them up close, sometimes even more easily than in their native range. Spending time watching them has shown me that each blackbuck seems to have its own personality, and some bucks are bold and patrol constantly, while others hang back and wait for a chance to sneak in. Some does are always first to the orchard rows, and some fawns are braver than others. I've seen early morning moments when the whole herd was relaxed, grazing peacefully under the trees, and others when they scattered in every direction just because a bird flew too close. One of my favorite things is seeing the contrast between the big, dark, mature bucks and the younger ones just starting to darken up. You can almost see the pecking order forming right there on camera. Well, that's the story of the blackbuck antelope and how they got here, how they live and what makes them unique, and what I've learned watching them in the orchard. These animals are living pieces of history, thriving here far from their original home. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Leave a comment and let me know what stood out to you, the fawns, the quick battles, or maybe just seeing them move through the orchard at first light. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.